station for talk.
Welcome back to Hard Facts.
This is Hard Facts. Hard Facts.
On 95.1 Nigeria Info.
All right, I needed to psych myself up with that song because, like, today's Thursday. You know how we talk about Throwback Thursdays. We're not consistent with it on Nigeria Info, but every now and again, we like to take you down memory lane, something to just like, yay, I know this song, I remember this song, and fond memories and all of that. And it just feels like it's a fighter song. It feels like, Sia's, that's what she's called, right? Unstoppable, one of those powerful songs you listen to. But we know that this one is definitely about a face-to-face confrontation. And given the fact that you guys said we're not going to agree for anybody this year, just sounds like a perfect anthem and perfect song to start the show today. Well, that's Sonny Neji with Face Me. Thank you so much for staying with 95.1 Nigeria Info. 12 minutes after 3. How are you? How are you coping with this weather? It's hot too. Don't be joke with this matter. Like, you know how it's so hot that you just feel extra tired? You just need to guzzle a bit more water to just stay hydrated and stay really functional. Well, if you find yourself drinking a little too more than usual, just understand that you're letting out too much moisture. It's leaving your body already and you need to replace them. I'm not a doctor, but I've listened to experts talk about the need for us to properly stay hydrated this season. Not just because your lips will look dry or anything, but even your internal organs need all the balance and the moisture it needs to function properly. So yeah, drink that water, all right, and smile. It's important also, in spite of everything going around and happening and all of that. Put a smile on your face. The Naira is gaining, guys. Okay, let me not say it as if it has come down to 500 or the 700 it was in 2023, but at least it's not climbing. We're seeing some consistent decline. And we're keeping our fingers crossed. Even though we spoke with Kaloja yesterday, and he says, oh, well, we need to show up export. We need to export. His final words were export, export, export. We need to export more crude. We need to do it with oil theft and export more crude. We need to export more produce, agricultural produce, that is. Whatever it is we do, we need to export more. We need to earn proper foreign exchange. That whatever politics or whatever, some people like to call it voodoo economics, but that's technically not what's happening though. But it's a temporary measure actually to shore things up. But we need to be, in order to sustain it, we need to be very real. So it needs to be, a marriage of the monetary and the fiscal policy to getting exactly what we want. So we need to be very real. And I want to believe that the CBN is working in collaboration with Wale Adungo, Ministry of Finance and all the other partners to see what we can come up with. The economic team also just putting heads together to see what we can do to really give us a fighting chance so that we don't find ourselves a few weeks down the road, few months down the road, complaining all over again. And we do that a lot in Nigeria. You think we've learned our lessons and then we go back right to our vomit and start all over again. It's crazy, yeah? But I want to believe, benefit of doubt, that it's going to be a whole lot better this time around. So let's try and be as positive. Chin up, smile on your face, and just keep moving. Besides, it shows that when it comes to mental health, Nigerians are second in Africa. In spite of everything that we complain of, that people talk about, you guys are still solid. You're still like 10 over 10. Maybe not 10 over 10, but let's say 8.4237% over 10. Over 100, over 10. I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for staying with 95.1 Nigeria Info. My name is Kimberly Nwachku. That is, call me the Oracle, the Digital Oracle, OTF, the Fellow, or Chanya One of Nigeria Info, Madam Speaker. And I will say yes to them all. And sadly, my guest cannot join me on the show today, so we're going to run through the stories together. I'll reel out the stories. I will open up the phone lines. I will get your input, your comment, your contribution, your perspective on the stories that we're looking at today. And then we would have other conversation through the course of the show also. And we'll find out time. I see my schedule seems pretty packed, but would find a way to... Let me see, would I have time at the 6 o'clock hour for the Beat My Score? Yes, I will. So, yeah, I will do the Beat My Score also today. Congratulations to all those who have won 5,000 naira. It's fun, right? You earned it, deserve it, as a matter of fact. Answering all the questions and beating the score. Look forward to doing that again today at the 6 o'clock hour. So let's get started. One of the big stories people are talking about, you've been talking about it, and we're bringing it back on the roundtable, is that the management of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria ordered the closure of an outlet, KFC, at the Muritala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos with effect from today, the 28th of March, 2024. And it said the decision was in line with Lagos State law on people with special needs, Part C, Section 55 of General Provision on Discrimination, which states that a person shall not deprive another person of access to any place, vehicle, or facility that members of the public are entitled to enter or use on the basis of the disability of that person. Now, the development followed a social media report by a passenger with reduced mobility, Debola Daniel, alleging discriminatory treatment received at the KFC outlet located at the Muritala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. And a statement signed by the Director, Public Affairs and Consumer Protection Fund, Mrs. Obiageli Ora, said the MD CEO of FAN, Mrs. Olubumi Kuku, intervened swiftly by deploying a management team comprising Director, Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, the Regional Manager Southwest, and a few others to investigate the allegation against KFC. And based on their findings, they shut down KFC facility there. There's a lot to distill, really a lot to unpack from this particular story. One, it's a good thing there was a swift action to say you can't treat persons with, with any form of, say, disability, reduced mobility, whatever challenge. It's difficult already just navigating buildings, spaces, Niger. While you're dealing with that, how many buildings can persons with reduced mobility really access? Even government buildings, private buildings in the country. I went to a hospital and it was a small clinic, and I was thinking, so if you're bringing people in a wheelchair, how would they go up here? And they said, they are working on a ramp. I want to believe they must have fixed it at this point in time behind to access the main building. So sometimes it's usually an afterthought. All the time we don't even remember it. So it's difficult on its own. And now to be denied service because, you say no wheelchair allowed. Who does that? Honestly, who does that? What kind of business environment will come up with a policy that says persons on the wheelchair are not allowed? I don't get it. It sounds very unreal. When I saw the story, I was thinking, I'm sure they're going to investigate and find out it's untrue. But based on their investigation, apparently, something of that nature did happen, and happened bad enough for you to shut the place down and demand a public apology from the management of the outlet, which is pretty much in order. But, it raised a lot of other issues about what it means to be, a person with reduced mobility or any other challenge in Nigeria that you are, trying to balance your life with, as to the kind of access, the kind of service, and the kind of condition that is tied to all of that. We do have legislation, we have laws, we have acts that make certain provisions in terms of job opportunity, access, and all of that for, the Disability Act in Nigeria. But how much of it have we really implemented enough to give that sort of protection? Now, people also bring in the aspect that we're dealing with a former governor's kid. What if it wasn't a prominent person? What if it was just another average Joe who went in there, and perhaps it's been happening on a daily in different parts, and was denied service or denied entrance because they said you can't come in with your, your support dog, maybe, if you use that, or you can come in with your cane, your walking stick, you can come in with your wheelchair. For me, in my head, I'm just thinking, who are the people who will come up with a policy and say you can't come in with this? It's shocking, honestly. But it brings, a bigger picture. Yes, someone who knew somebody to call to saying this is what happened to me, enough for all of them to swing into action swiftly and, come up with their position. I hope to God that we get to see it with everyday people, that there would be some sort of procedure or simple protocol to follow if you want to report certain infraction or certain issues, not just at the airports, but anywhere. in any business organization, in any government establishment, to saying, I was treated poorly because of my condition, or was treated poorly because of this. I know we have PENCOM to deal with, what am I calling PENCOM? Which one is the customer service 111 again? What's it called again? You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it will come to me in a bit. All of those to just address certain things, but it's usually very slow. But we know things pick up pretty fast when there's a known name involved. Well, this was an opportunity to bring this matter again to the fore, to saying people need to be treated with dignity and respect. And any organization, any business, public or private, that doesn't factor in. I mean, in some climes, persons with reduced mobility, any form of disability whatsoever, they have special parking space, special this, special entrance, just to make it a lot more easier for them. And you go somewhere and you don't even allow them stay on the queue for so long. You're just like, oh, we understand that, navigating this space every day can be a little difficult. Let's make it a lot easier for you so that at least you can even up. It's just a matter of equity, to saying, just as much as possible, let's not make it any more difficult for you. And you can imagine what it must felt for that individual to be told you can't come in with this because of that. When, God forbid, something like this can happen to just, anyone and all of that. So, yeah, they swung into action. Let's hope that, businesses and all would learn from this, and that we're not going to just swing into action because a notable person is involved or knows somebody who knows somebody, but because we actually have proper order to addressing issues when they do happen eventually. Now, I see some people are saying, it's a little high-handed. Why will you shut down the place and affect business? But that means you do not understand the gravity of what was done. If you do not understand it, it's not a shutdown permanently, but you issue an apology and treat your customers right and better, as long as they conduct themselves with decorum and come into your space. You can't tell one person because of certain conditions not to come in at all. So that's a good one. Well, it's open and all kinds of interpretation have coming, but I think for most humans, you understand that the right thing needs to be done, and to a certain extent, it was done by them. The big question is, would it be done by them for anybody? If this is done to just any person, that's something to look at. All right, so we're back to the matter of, let's see, some days back, one of my lines was blocked. They sent me a message. They actually told me, your NIN does not match the information we have. Like, dude, guys, I've given you this information for 2 years now, and you're just telling me it doesn't match. And I think it took about 78 hours or thereabouts, and they sent a message and said my line was going to be blocked. That day, I thought it was a joke. I was like, all right, I will wait till after Easter and go, and then they blocked it. No go grief for anybody. They meant business, that particular telecom provider. But they actually did make it easy. Either the KYC center, the Know Your Customer Center, or a link to just help regularize certain things. And I did that. So it shows that partly because of the pressure that is coming from government, the telcos are putting pressure also. And I'm sure some of you in your lines have received either a message, a warning, or to regularize or to furnish them with your NIN. I had given them my NIN and all they needed. Or was it BVN? Oh, now I get it. I get it now. I gave my no, was it not NIN they were asking for? It's the banks that are asking for NIN and BVN now. Well, long story short, I had given them and they fixed my line back. But the National Association of Telecommunication Subscribers have requested that the Nigerian Communication Commission extend the deadline schedule for disconnection of telephone lines not linked to national identification number beyond Friday, the 29th of March. That is tomorrow, which is, by the way, public holiday. The subscribers body argued that telco agents were failing to capture all necessary information needed for verification, just as it also cited difficulties in uploading the captured data on the National Identity Management Commission server. The president of NATCOM, Adeolu Ogunbanjo, told papers on Wednesday, I'm reading from the Punch, that the NCC needs to order telcos not to disconnect telephone lines, considering the ongoing difficulties faced by subscribers. The telco regulator has insisted there will be no charges or I beg your pardon, no changes to the deadline for the phase of disconnection. The disconnection process was rolled out in stages, with the second phase scheduled for March 29, following the initial phase that occurred on the 28th of February. The third phase is slated to commence on the 15th of April 2024, as previously announced. Earlier, Director of Public Publicity at the NCC, Ruben Moka, told The Punch that they've issued a publication that you can refer to, and the deadlines are well stipulated there. And at this point in time, lines will be barred. At least as at February 28, about 40 million lines that were not linked to BVN were barred. And NatCom president said before the first deadline, subscribers had appealed to the NCC for a 1-month extension, and then they'll continue this appeal. I feel like even to phase 3, we will still be appealing. My provider actually sent a link and said, all right, either you go through this link and give us the info that we want, or you go to a KYC center. Lucky for me, I already have my NIMC app downloaded. I have all of that info there. And so it was just easy for me to just take this, put it there, and then find a cool spot and take a photograph, because they also need a picture of how you look. And then I took my picture and uploaded it, and they said, okay, thank you very much. You've given us all we need. And they sent me a text message shortly after that, and my line was activated back. At least I've made phone calls after that with it. So there's that provision for one of them. I can't speak for all the telco providers, but for that one particular one, they made it a lot easy instead of going to the KYC. So you might want to look out for that option also. But the appeal is for Nigerians to just comply. It can get very uncomfortable when you're just minding your business and doing your... I was trying to make calls that day and it wasn't going through. And I told one of my colleagues, they're like, what's happening? These networks, have they not fixed the undersea cable? Why is the network crappy? And then he tried calling my number and he said the number has been disconnected and bad. I'm like, wow, not cool at all. So I did the needful. Well, it took them to block my line for me to do the needful. So, they know how we behave. So, guys, behave and do the needful. But what do you think, honestly? Do you quite agree with NatCom that there should be an extension? We're dealing with a lot of people. If 40 million lines were barred for the first phase of it, I wonder how many will be barred at the second phase and the third phase when that is done finally. The procedure isn't so difficult, but we do have a lot of people. And sometimes you go by the KYC centers and you see a number of people. And it's a good thing that they gave you the other option to do it online. But not a lot of people know what to do online. There are people in rural areas who, honest to God, would not even know how to go about it. They do not even have a smartphone to do that. So it might be a bit difficult for them to achieve that. So the appeal is extend the deadline. And do you quite agree and lend your voice to that call to extend the deadline? Or you think Nigerians don't take things like this serious, and so the pressure is absolutely necessary to get people to give the information that is required? And all of this is tied to security reasons. You need to know your customers. We need to know people, what they look like. We need to be able to tie their name to their lines so that when push comes to shove, you would know how to trace people. That's if we use it enough. Because I was talking and Salasi's voice came to mind. Like, what about our NIMC? How is it that the kidnappers get so much money off people? And yes, we can't trace them. Well, apparently, I don't know if we were tracing them through their phone lines, but the army and the military is neutralizing them. Mr. Bayo Nanuga came up and said, the media does not amplify when we have successes. I said, we actually do. I mean, there are times where we've played clips of the defense headquarters just talking about what they've done. Remember, guys, we do that. Even with the police, with one chance people and all of that, we talk about it. It's in the news. It comes forward in conversation. But the thing is, when you're saying you've neutralized 128, you've neutralized 30, and then it just feels like the insurgency, the banditry, the kidnapping is still happening with all intensity. It worries people a lot to say, who are you neutralizing? How easy is it for them to recruit more people if you're neutralizing as many as you claim at the end of the day? So it's just a matter of you have to how to read success is in the result of it. The result is if this reduces, the kidnapping reduces, you bring more of them into your dragnet. people will say, indeed, all of your effort is paying off. But if it's not, it just feels like work done is zero. So that's where really this is coming from. All right. So I'll open up the phone line. Seeing I don't have a guest with me in the studio, just bring you on board the conversation. Feel free to call me up on 0700 951 0000. Or you can just call me via WhatsApp line. Yep. Call, WhatsApp, or just send a message. 0809 9930137. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon, Kim.
Good afternoon to you, sir. Welcome.
How are you? Long time.
Yeah. Who am I
My
speaking
name
with?
is Mr. Dan, calling from New Caro here.
Mr. Dan, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. Now, the first question I want to ask. Now, even though, as all of us, we have, most of us, let me just say, most of us link our land to this need. But are they assuring us that there will be no more security? I mean, kidnapping, all those things. Can they come in? So that's the first question I want to ask. If they can do it, fine. But because these things, they are just disturbing us. Because most of us, we have done this thing. Now, can they go to the villages and ensure that all the villagers ensure that they link their own land? Because it will not even take, it will take more than the next 1 year to do that. If you want to do it throughout the whole Nigeria, from the north to the south, from the east to the west. Even if we should do the right thing at times, they just bring something to disturb us. At times, we discover that they say that we should link our BVN to me, to this. And this all those who long, they continue, interrupting our land. And sometimes they will even hack into your account. Because it is easy for them to have access to
But isn't that the reason why we should just comply and do the needful so that you can have something to argue with, to saying we've given you all of this, why is this still happening?
We do. But what we are saying is that if we do that, can they now ensure that there is security, there is everything will be okay? If that is okay, then I think we will continue to comply.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you for calling. And yes, we're streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. And I saw the Deacon Itodo on YouTube. Deacon, good to know that you're watching. Thank you very much. Yes, Nigeria Info Abuja on Facebook and YouTube. Go check it out. Hello.
Hello, Kimberly.
Welcome. Good afternoon.
The legendary Kimberly team is blocked. They don't fear.
They know they fear face.
Please, they should do this thing with a lot of decorum, please. You know, there are aged people in the villages who have phones. Those phones were acquired to them by their net of kin, children, what have you. Even the SIM on their phone, they did not go there individually to register those SIMs. They were donated to them by net of kin. And they use that phone with those aged people in the villages to communicate with them daily. Like here in Gwagwalada, I have a neighbor, an aged person. He's alone in his house because he lost his spouse some time ago. So there is somebody from Kanu. He used to wake him in early at the dawn for him to pray and to ensure that he's still alive. So like somebody like that, if you buy his SIM that he cannot receive calls for him, you are creating an emergency situation. Yes, they should do like me now. I have issue with Gulu, which is still pending. They are telling me my SIM card of about 15 years, that just because I'm offline for 2 years,
But why would you be offline, sir, for 2 whole years?
If you can allow me, I will explain.
Okay, we're waiting.
My phone was calling the very first day or week when the issue of NIN came online, and I cannot cope. I will not join queue. I will not join that happening that happened until after 2 years that I was able to obtain the NIN certificate. So that is my
okay.
And before I got that NIN, they said they have already awarded my SIM card to another person. And it's a collateral SIM card. I do collateral transaction with that SIM card. It means that the person that awarded my SIM will be receiving disable my alert.
Oh, wow.
So, it's not possible. It's not. I will not accept it.
But what have you done about that? Have you tried to go lay a formal complaint?
Even the agent again charge me. Up to now, it's not receiving my call.
Mm.
So it's a great dilemma.
Wow. All right. Thank you very much. You know, that part got someone into trouble. I think it was a gentleman who got into trouble where they said it was in the line of the former president's kids, and they now found out that it was the telco providers that blocked and reassigned it to someone else. So I don't know, you reassign the same number to somebody else. It'd be a bit awkward to call someone and say, oh, sorry, maybe it was the former owner of the line. This belongs to somebody else now. All right, Abubakar, please follow up and update us on how it played out. Just to drop this one also, you know, we're talking about the troops and neutralizing. The troops said they've neutralized 212 terrorists, apprehend 252 in 1 week alone. According to the Defense Headquarters, said this number of those neutralized and apprehended, and then they rescued 244 kidnapped hostages in different operations nationwide in just 1 week. So just think about the people. Are we counting the 137 among those? Well, technically, yes, within the week, it just might be, but 244 persons were abducted, and within 1 week, they removed them. Let's not talk about those who perhaps have not been rescued just yet or have not been ransomed, if you know what I mean. The Director of Defense Media Operation, Major General Edward Buba, made this known while giving an update on military operation on Thursday in Abuja, and said the troops also recovered 223 assaulted weapons, 2,756 ammunition comprising 3 M56 rifle, 115 AK-47 rifles, 3 PKT guns, 24 locally fabricated guns, and 36 Dane guns also, and added that 7 locally fabricated pistols, 1,716 rounds of 7.62 millimeter special ammo, 494 rounds of 7.62 millimeter NATO, and 60 rounds of 7.62 times 25 ammo, amongst others. All of these things in your head, you're just thinking, what does it mean? It's just weapons and the ammunitions they use at the end of the day. To honest, hardworking people like you who are not in the military or any paramilitary, and do not have any business whatsoever with something like that, might never see it for the rest of your life. I know it just sounds like, what is all of this? How does it come into the country? But there's always a network for crime and criminality in even the country where it seems like everything is A-OK. Well, some countries, I'm sure they've been able to bring it down to 0.001% minimal and controlled. But ours doesn't look like it's controlled at all. And that's why the more you neutralize, the more you seize, the more the weapons coming, the more the recruits coming. And that's why they're looking at attendant issues, aside from the socio-economic contributor to insecurity, education, health, welfare, and the likes of it. Also, the brainwashing and mind, whatever it is that is making this industry flourish. We just need to get to the root of it at the end of the day. If not, it will just be dealing with the symptoms, but the root cause of it will still be biting us. So that's what they said, and I thought to bring it out because to know what they're doing and to tell you that more of them are being neutralized. But how is it that they're still taking hundreds and hundreds of people in spite of this? Well, I think that's the difficult part of it. And still from the DHQ, they've declared 8 persons wanted over their role in the recent killing of 70 military personnel in Delta State, according to the same briefing on Thursday. Now, those declared wanted are Professor Ekpepo Arthur, and then there's Denny Bakriri, Akewuru Daniel Omotobo, aka Amagben, Akata Malawa David, Sinclair Oliki, Clement Ikolo, Ruben Baru, Igoli Ebi. This is coming hours after 17 slain soldiers were buried at the National Cemetery in Abuja on Wednesday. The cemetery was a ceremony was attended by very own President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and other dignitaries. Now, the event, the president promised support for the families of the victims and announced scholarship for the children of the slain soldiers, including those in the womb. However, he vowed that the killers will not go unpunished, that they will find them, and they will ensure that the departed soldiers get justice, the president said at the end of the day. So they've put up their faces, their pictures are out there, they're looking out for them. If they're in Nigeria, in Kenya, or they somehow found their plane tickets out of Nigeria, nobody knows, but it's all there. And I don't know, number 4, Igoli Ebi, is that a woman's face I see? Are they saying this woman butchered soldiers? Well, I don't know. I will give them benefit of doubt that they know what they're doing. Yesterday, when we were on the the eyewitness report, I remember a caller called in and was like, why isn't there half the emphasis and focus on the policemen that the military got? Because police officers were also killed in Delta some couple of days after that happened. And, you know, the conversation went to the point of saying, perhaps maybe it's also the police. How much premium you place will determine how much energy it draws and how much, you know, empathy and commitment and zeal. Or it just might be they happen back to back, the heel of each other, and you just feel like, all right, they've killed some security personnel and we're going to find them, we're going to fish them out. But the truth is, they're all valuable, the police, the military, and it's truly disturbing that everyday people would think to do that. Perhaps that's where the Senate president was coming from, saying that maybe they're not just everyday people. Maybe they're mercenaries. Maybe he was just thinking at the top of his head. Or maybe he had intel. I don't know. He didn't just back it up with anything. He just said it. The Senate president has been saying quite a lot that is quite debatable and contentious. But we'll leave it at that. So the names are out. The pictures are out. And they are looking for them. And, well, going by what the president said, they will find them. Hello?
Vicky.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, my sister. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
God bless you. God bless Nigeria. We will survive this country. All these things will be coming through one day in our lifetime. Trust me. I read all the previous callers and those who call after me and those who send message. It's Adeomi Daniel calling. Kim,
Yes.
you spoke about weapon now. I have said it on another platform. A lot of saboteurs, the great grandchildren of leaders, they are in agency. The idea, and if you ask Sahel, all of you people that like something like allegedly, I will stand before security officers. Saboteurs too much. They are giving allegiance. They are having sympathy for all these guys. You remember during Buhari, there's DSS guns that they discovered at Lagos. Was in the airport. The former controversy and that Kaduna Madam that refused to wear uniform. It was displayed with the gun. We didn't hear it after that again. Another one. Every time. You remember then, we used to hear jollof rice from another country, enter Nigeria. Many things. All these things, the BDSS, PME, BNI, they are all of stuff. They are the great grandchildren of Judas Iscariot. They are in care. They are the one who are making it. Don't be surprised. All these things that happen in Okwama, we may not get into it. The same people who are in the food agency will give them link. They will give them link how to escape that the matter with either. Don't be surprised. You will see Mark it. Look at this guy. What do you call his name? Najid from
Binance, yeah.
Keep it in a serious country. People like that are not supposed to be in office by now. Badu and others, they are not supposed to be in office by now. Saboteur in everywhere. Mr. President, watch your back. Enemy within. Thank you.
Oh, wow. If Adeomi gives you advice, you start suspecting everybody around you. But thank you very much for your take. It says enemy within. Ah, man. This kind of movies that Sentobi used to act back in the day. All right. But I bet there's some truth in what he's just said. Hello.
Hello, Tim.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
You are
Yeah.
and I Chris the talk. I'm calling from Nigeria.
All right, Chris from now.
You started to brighten my day when you were advising me to just put a smile or possibly put a laugh. Because they remind me inside hellfire where goat, head of goat and the goat of head. You know the way they smile, don't be here. Even though it's inside fire. They can't heat the temperature, man. Don't move from there. After they talk to you like in my compressor, don't burn. I don't know what's in burn. So now, about the discrimination by is it KF?
Yeah. Yeah. Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Fry this, fry that.
Yeah.
And then I don't even understand. I don't know why. If you just, I don't know where they get this kind of music from, especially the attendant. Because from my understanding, it looks like it was one of their employees that put that company into trouble by telling them that he has strict order not to allow, I don't call them disabled, I call them differently able. Because it's like if you can stand for a very long time, you don't sit down past person where they on wheelchair. So it makes no difference. The only thing that they cannot jump, they cannot run like you. But there are other things they can do even better than you. So why would you want to discriminate against these people? This our money we spend has no color. Do you understand? And there's no one that has more value than irrespective of whoever is coming from. Even the leper. Those days we would avoid leper. If they bring something, you don't even touch it. But that is really very bad for such a company to discriminate against these people who are differently able. Honestly speaking, I'm yet to hear that the individual involved has sued the hell out of them. It's not just about government, either state or federal government, closing the place down after some gossip here and then they open them and they go back.
No, it's not about gossip, but they're saying they need to also put up a public apology.
Honestly, it is serious. And again, that's also what happens in some of these filling stations. They are discriminating against those of us who are buying with cards and cars. Because most times, we don't go with cars. They prefer Okada people and Jerican people because they will give them cash to go and sell to POS. One day, some of these, when I go there, I don't gather the head for filling station.
No duamo, except you won't share bunk for Kuje.
Oh, no, send a newspaper. They go even at least somebody will have to bail the car. Very, very necessary.
Don't bail the car that way, Chris. Do it the right way. Don't bail the cat notoriously. Do it the right way.
And make I do if I sacrifice, not the soldiers they sacrifice for the rest of us. Jesus does not die for the rest of us.
All right, Chris.
If I buy the cat, leave these people alone.
Chris, thank you. Chris, thank you. Thank you very much. Don't fight. No two fighting, all right? Folake Odwekun says, oh, thank you very much. You're very kind. James Madaki, I see you. Also, Richard Otubu, on the issue of extension of SIM registration. I don't think there should be any extension. How long are we going to keep talking or taking things for granted? I think your family and business, just think about your family and your business and do it. But the procedure, if you have to do it online, isn't that difficult. So people should be registering. Just a sign. If you have your NIN, it's a seamless process. It's when you don't have a smartphone, you can't do it. That's when you'd be forced to go into their office. And boy, oh boy, anything to take me into anybody's office to queue up with a crowd, it's nightmarish. So I can understand for people who be forced to go that route. But if it's your provider makes it easy for you to, do the proper registration and just take your picture, just do it. I was forced to because they sent me several messages for days and I was just like, these people are not serious. Me that sent them my NIN since when? What is it that they're telling me is not aligned? But when they block it, I quickly complied and did the needful. But don't be like me. Do it quickly, all right? Abaye Avokun says, good afternoon from Zaria. Good to know you're watching Nafam Kazim. I see online. I've also sent you a message on WhatsApp concerning discrimination of persons with disability on the wheelchair at Lagos Airport. Can I still send it here since you've not read it? Okay, you can, but I'll be going to WhatsApp to read more messages. Ike Ajalai, I see you. Paul Ayetoto, I see you also. Let's see here. Okay, that's from Facebook at Nigeria Info Abuja. Let's go to, why is it at WhatsApp? Whenever I come here, everything freezes. I thought by now some people would have been arrested for the escape of the Binance boss, or did he overpower the security agent and run away all the way to the airport and bought a plane ticket at the airport? At what point did the security agent escort him to pray, found out that he escaped and wasn't immigration alerted immediately? monkey hand resemble human being for the matter of Mike Nkegene. Just so you know, the other Binance executive who is in their custody is suing the EFCC and the NSA's office over his detention and the allegations against him. So he's taking them to court. And like, you just can't come and just all of a sudden slam all kinds of allegations and detain us just like that over this matter. So we haven't seen the last of it yet. Let's just hope that the government knows what exactly they're doing with this particular one and not one of those brash moves to just, address one problem, then you open a can worm of another. But we'll give the government the benefit of the doubt. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Madam Kim.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, this is Adamu. I'm calling from Metama.
Good to hear from you, Adamu.
Yeah, the man they are calling disabled, I call them physically challenged because they are just physically challenged, but the intelligence, the endowment God has given them is within them. If you see the tweet that guy tweeted, if you read the English, you know that guy is well educated. And don't forget, it's a son of a former governor, son of a sitting senator, so he's well educated. And in Nigeria, in Southwest, somebody will say this man should not enter a cafe, a restaurant, because that is a restaurant. It's not a supermarket or whatever. A restaurant.
It's an eatery, yeah.
What is the difference between KFC and a restaurant? It's a restaurant. Is it not South African company? They come to Nigeria, they give them...
Well, no, KFC is not South African. KFC originated from the US. What they are doing,
our brothers in South Africa, if we can do...
No, KFC is not originally from South Africa. Oh, it's an American company. It's Kentucky Fried Chicken.
It's originated from South Africa. That's the report we have.
It's okay.
KFC is from South Africa. Even if it is from America, it's from South Africa. The man brought it to Nigeria.
It's a franchise that can be brought from anywhere.
The same with DSTV. All is from South Africa. Even if it is from where, we know it's from South Africa, not from USA. So they should not do that again, please. The guy, if you see the tweet, the guy tweeted, you know that he's just an intelligent guy.
Well, but the thing is, yeah, I mean, he's the son of a prominent person. But the thing is, would they have gotten the same response if it was just any Nigerian who was discriminated, I guess? Would FAN have swung into action?
Show them now, Madam Kim. That is what we are supposed to begin to show them now. We need to come back to Abuja and begin to show Julius Vega and other companies, multinational companies. Let's show them that we own Nigeria, not them.
All right.
Chinese fighting Nigerians, black Nigerians.
All right.
You give them hard work and you are fighting
but sir, let's not go too far with this. It's not the policy of KFC. It was something that was wrong with that particular outlet where they are. Because I've seen other eateries where people go to. So to generalize and start calling the country where they are from might just be... We might be going with too much ballistic to this pillow fight. Is it serious?
I'm not calling the country where they are coming from. We are just saying that our brothers that are living in South Africa, if you can say we are going to do to what they are doing to them there, because they have been doing it in South Africa and they want to do it here in Nigeria again for us. It's not proper.
All right, sir. Thank you.
It's not proper. Let them maintain their land.
All right. Thank you.
Let them allow Nigeria to survive.
Thank you very much. KFC is originally from Salt Lake City, Utah, in the United States. It's a franchise and it's spreading to every corner of the world, Asia, Africa, and or whatnot. Okay, thank you very much. Let's hear from this caller. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Welcome.
Yeah, this is Olalekan calling from Utako.
Olalekan from Utako. Go ahead, we're listening.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry. I don't know why the case is not in court already. I mean, it should have been...
Which of the cases? Which of the cases, sir?
By now.
Which of them?
Yeah, this KFC matter. KFC has money. It's a big company. They should be sued for maybe like 2 billion naira just for, Yes. You should have sued them already. I don't know why they are prolonging this matter. Because if KFC, if they really know what they are into, by now, even before they asked to, even before the branch was locked or whatever, they should have apologized to that man publicly and then compensate him. Tell him, come and be eating here every day.
for the next 1 month, and we won't charge you. You won't pay anything. By you doing that, because if that man should go to court, what they are going to pay is far more than that man eating in their plate for 1 year. It's like they don't know what they are eating. They are taking it to there. They don't know that it is a serious matter. I don't know why people take things for granted in this country.
Well,
it might not be their policy. Maybe it was the person that attended to the man. Maybe not the man former girlfriend that they never spoke to.
Oga, keep your theory to yourself. Don't make it a relationship problem. You have gone down an interesting route that we're not going this afternoon with you. Nobody former girlfriend. Thank you.
I'm just trying to say that maybe they have history. It is possible.
It's okay.
Because I don't think there is any issue that will not say that a particular set of people shouldn't come in.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand why you're letting your mind wander far and wide with this, because even for me, it was a little mind-boggling. How can you say you're not aligned with into an issue? What is the rationale behind it?
To come and spend this money.
All right.
The KFC knows what is good for them. They should send an apology. Ask that man to come and dig it there for the next 1 month. I don't charge him for anything. Because if that man should go to court, they will sweat in the court. That's just the simple truth.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, it's time for us to really visit our Disability Act and see all the provisions and conditions and all whatnot spelled for them. There's a whole lot. I mean, this is like an opportunity to have conversation, wider conversation around issues of, persons with disability in Nigeria, the kind of laws that protect them. And there are certain things that even outside, if you have a law or legislation, like as a human being, you should just be able to just do it right by people. And every day I get pleasantly and unpleasantly surprised by people, honestly. Afam Kazim says, it is not about the person being the son of a former governor at all, but it's about discrimination against person with disability or on any Nigerian for that matter. Notes that the color of money does not discriminate whether one is in a wheelchair or not. We should condemn the act of discrimination for what it is. One thing, the guy should take KSC to court. There's a law against person with disability in Nigeria. Yes, we did establish that at the start of the conversation. And it'll be interesting to see what direction he intends to go with this. He's very knowledgeable, well-read, so he knows his rights at this point in time. And, we're trying to point that out to the fact that there are people who perhaps would not really know their right and would have been treated shabbily in perhaps an office and all of that, person with disability, and they would have just taken it like, we could just they go. And that's why the question came up would the authority of FAN have acted swiftly if it was just anyone who reported the case to them, beyond someone who is, well-placed? That was just the question. So it's a question that goes to every organization and business and individual to say, just treat people right, treat people with respect, treat people with dignity. Persons with disability are already grappling with so much, accessing buildings and all whatnot. You can't make service more difficult for them, really. All right, Bevan is seated. Ogunlade Taiwo Johnson says, Olua Kim, you will not kill me with grammar ballistic. Always enjoying your show. Thank you very much, Ogunlade. I appreciate you. Let's join Bevan for the news at the top of the hour. We'll be back to hear more from you.
The news, information, and the right conversation are...
Audio Jungle.
I keep my sunny side.
This is Nigeria Info.